Welcome to my thoughts on X-Men 97, Season 2, Episode 1, Days of Past Future. Delicious reordering of Days of Future Past. I forget if I've read a comic that is like this, or it's possible it's original to the show. Anyway, the episode is rated CV-14, so this will be. There will be spoilers for both of these, both X-Men 97 and the original X-Men TAS, the 90s show. And I think if I end up spoiling anything else, I'll verbally let you know before doing so. And yeah, another episode I absolutely loved. I am so happy we're finally getting this. I've talked at length about how much I love the original show, so I'm not going to spend forever on it here. I will note that in the weeks, must have been weeks by now, at least a month, leading up to this, I rewatched. Actually, yeah, just the last three of them was earlier today. But yeah, I rewatched all the episodes of both of those. Yeah, season one of this show and all of the episodes of the first show. And yeah, I'm never not gonna love these. It's just, and somehow this manages to raise the bar even higher. Like, yeah, I think this is probably a good time to briefly note the the season one finale told us that we're gonna get at least some of the Summers getting to spend at least some time with Nathan as a child, and I don't know if this is gonna be the extent of it. I could imagine we're gonna revisit at least some, but this is already really delivering on that. I guess that pretty much covers. Yeah. So for the rest of this, I'm gonna try to keep it chronological. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I thought it was smart that this episode basically only focused on, we get little glimpses of, we got the I mean, it's got to be present day, right? They're at the very end, the tease, and no, yeah, I think other than that, the entire episode is the one timeline, and that does make a lot of sense. Don't try to overdo. There's gonna be, I want to say, 9 more episodes of this season. You have time to explore, and yeah. So let's see yeah, I appreciate that they didn't feel the need to spend forever on, because we already knew, yeah, Forge and Bishop, Time Machine, that's kind of their whole thing. We spend enough time on this in the original series that you don't have to do that much build up to it. You can just, like, the episode pretty much opens with them briefly talking about it, and then they travel in time. We skip ahead. Did they say it has been months, something like that? But yeah, they yeah, and I appreciated that Bishop is like, I'm thinking you're gonna want the future, so I'll do the past, and I think, yeah, the let's see, yeah, so Forge arrives, and I appreciated that it was ultimately overwhelming with the number of cyber hounds. Wonderful name. And I think we also learned it in the original series, but I remember it because the subtitles identified them as that here. Or did someone actually say it? I forget already. But yeah, he does take out a bunch of them, but ultimately, does need help love that they really are actually showing us Bone Claw, not McGraw, but Logan, Wolverine without the metal. That was also, yeah, they actually managed to improve the already basically perfect opening sequence, with the roll call and everything. Yeah, they showed a different angle on Magneto stripping the metal, the adamantium from Wolverine's skeleton. Love the bit that, see, this is why I'm so glad that this is TV14 and not TV6 like the original show. Love the original show, but we felt the pain as he was using the bone claws. They were ready, but yeah. And I think that pretty much gets us to, yeah, and so we have the conversation about, well, some things have happened since the, yeah. And I really appreciated this thing of, like, can they even tell Nathan that they're his parents? Because they, this thing of the timeline, and also this thing of, like, wait, were we brought here to, prevent or make sure it happens, so, and who even did, and by the end of the episode, Ascani, Mother Ascani says that it's her, and I'm not 100% sure I know who she is, but I can imagine we will find out, because I feel like they're building up to a reveal of some sort, but I mean, without time travel, I don't even know. Could it even be anyone we know from anything else in the shows? I'll find out. We'll find out. I mean, oh right. I think I believe at least one more episode is already up. I'm not doing that one. I guess for about a week, more or less. Anyway, I don't remember how many episodes have already aired. Now, I think that pretty much brings us to the yeah. So yeah, Forge is willing to give them one day, one opportunity, and it really is just heartbreaking. And this thing of, like, we should tell him, we should say hello, just so we can immediately then say goodbye. It's this. They really get such great stuff out of the. It's very melodramatic, obviously, but I don't know. On the other hand, I do kind of appreciate. Listen, imagine having to say goodbye to your clone's son with your husband because he has to go into the future to save himself from this, yeah, from the tech virus. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's obviously an unusual experience, but I don't know. Both of the people who have experienced that in the real world were indeed very moved by it. And I think that pretty much gets us to the, yeah, Apocalypse being told about Nathan, and this idea of, like, oh, not only might Nathan not become Cable and defeat Apocalypse, but Nathan is going to become Apocalypse, or is it vice versa? That is deeply disturbing, and yeah, very, very cool as the we see the Horsemen sent out, and as usual, fantastic designs. I do not recognize them from the comics, but I have not read very many of the comics. That I believe there are at least some comics that are set during, what was it, like 3,920 or something along those lines. I think, doesn't that pretty much bring us to the, yeah, and Morph, still one of the best characters of both shows. Like, well, we were supposed to play catch, but he didn't throw it back. Maybe he doesn't know we're supposed to. I absolutely adore Morph. Such a wonderful character. And yeah, the the horsemen do of course manage to defeat all three summers, and presumably the remaining seasons as well. And that was also, I appreciate Ascani speaking riddles. What was it like? You're summer, he's spring. Together you can separate. You can defeat winter. I mean, if you don't know the answer, you can just tell us that. You don't have to like make something up. But no, seriously. Also, she uh, she meditates upside down, airborne, over fire. That's not the way I've learned it, but I mean, it looks like it works. I guess I'll try it. And let's see. I guess that pretty much. I definitely feel like there's. Yeah, that's when they talk about the bullet train and this thing of like, well, if they cross through, if Nathan is still on the train when it goes through, we've lost. That's just it. Excellent ticking clock. And Storm manipulating not just the weather but the cosmos. So I I really love how much, like, this is a show that respects how awesome of a character she is. And season 1 did as well. And yeah, the 5 seasons of the original show, just yeah, fantastic. It's yeah, I feel like that pretty much brings us to the yeah. So yeah, they managed to get to the bullet train, and we also have that awesome bit where yeah, he lacks, you know his parents find his lack of faith in himself disturbing, not least of which because it might get all of them killed. But yeah, really, really awesome that they do. They repeat the exact words that they say to him as a baby. And that was also great. The thing about, like, I can hear you. He is a psychic, so yeah. It was unclear if that ability had already manifested or not. But yeah, and he uses the tech virus to free himself and then them. And yeah, it was really, really awesome seeing all these characters fighting the Four Horsemen and ultimately coming out on top. And yeah, once again, the action on the show is just phenomenal. And I guess that pretty much, yeah, very clever. This thing of like, I was not expecting that they were gonna crash, gate crash Apocalypse's place, but she said, he can't end up a slave to Apocalypse. She didn't say that it would be a bad idea to go there, and yeah, they get, he gets some help from Ship. Great cut between him as tween and adult, and the arm being, which I also appreciate. I forget if that's how it is in the comic, but the yeah, there was something about dealing with the tech virus, and yeah, that is very, very cool. I feel like that's pretty much everything. I'm just real quick gonna see if I missed anything. Let's see. I did want to briefly comment on, so the voices are at least a little different for both Psylocke and Archangel. I'm not sure I can really put words to what they change, how Psylocke is different, but Archangel, they definitely toned down at least some. I think that was probably a good idea. Once again, show's no longer for 6-year-olds. I do love the voice on that show, but I appreciate, maybe, you're at 11, maybe go to like a 4. And yeah, Cable and the others are going to be recruiting in order to stop Apocalypse. And let's see, I guess that pretty much... I feel like there was at least one more thing I really want to make sure to say, but okay, I'm just real quick going to mentally fast forward through the episode. And let's see. Yeah, that might actually be... yeah, it was really great seeing, this younger version of Nathan talking about, because like we knew that he had some issues based on that, but we haven't really seen him at this age, expressing that he feels abandoned by his parents. And, he says, people say I'm a miracle, but a miracle is not supposed to happen. Neither is a mistake. Maybe I'm the latter, not the former. And that is something that, the unusual circumstances aside, yeah, a lot of people do struggle with that. A lot of, for example, adopted kids struggle with that. And I love the idea that some of them might watch this episode and gain an appreciation for, because like so much of the time, it's not that they don't love you. Some, for example, do it because they just can't afford to provide a healthy life for the kid, And or some of them might not have the emotional maturity to be good parents. And yeah, there are a number of good reasons to engage in it. Like, instead of hating those who give up, kids for adoption, we should just try to make sure that as many of these kids as at all possible are adopted by good parents. And just going to put out there that a lot of amazing parents are members of the LGBTQIA plus community. And you don't have to take my word for it. Studies bear this out. You can look them up yourself. It is more important that the parents love the kid than that there is one man and one woman. And it is also better for there to be two parents, although that is not to disparage, single mothers or single fathers. A lot of them did not choose that situation, and they do what they can. And yeah, I feel like that pretty much... Yeah, I think that is absolutely everything for this episode. Really, really looking forward to more. It's been difficult to wait, but at least with this last bit, I was able to rewatch the show. Like, for real, at this point, there are some episodes of the original show that I must have watched at least 5 times by now, and I still get sucked in every single time. I've been watching like 2 episodes a day, sometimes 3, for, once again, yeah, you can do the math. All the episodes of both shows like that. I think there was one day where I was only able to watch one, and I really hated having to cut it off, but ran out of time. Life happens. But yeah, um, to finish off, I did want to briefly say, so the following character, as far as I know, is not a parent, adoptive or otherwise, but I think his words probably ring true for a lot of, you know, yeah, a lot of parents would probably tell you, well, I am what I am and I do what I can.